After the mediocre amount of anime we got in 2020, no one is really expecting anything exciting to happen in 2021. There just isn't enough time to make anything of quality in that short amount of a time frame. I have never been more happy to be dead wrong. The winter 2021 anime season is going to be far more exciting than anyone expected, and I can't wait to show you what the anime industry has in store for us this season. Today, we will take a look at the anime coming out in winter 2021. In this style of video, I use the red, yellow, and green light system. If it's a red light, it probably means that the show isn't going to be any good and I wouldn't really recommend it to someone. A yellow light means that it may be good, but it's probably not going to be as good as a green light. And a green light means that this show looks good and I recommend you watch that show. There's an absolute motherload of sequels for winter 2021. We've got the final season of Attack on Titan, ReZero, The Promised Neverland, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Dr. Stone, Beastars, The Quintessential Quintuplets, and Cells at Work. That's a whole lot of sequels. Wait, what do you mean there's more? That sounds like the proper amount of sequels for this season, right? There's also the 7 Deadly Sins, Eurocamp, Log Horizon, World Trigger, Nyun Byori, and Hideaki Anno finally decided to release EVA 4.0 after a decade of radio silence. Holy crap, that's a lot of sequels. My guess is that the studios intended on releasing these during 2020, but they had to push them back due to deadlines and the coronavirus lockdown in Japan. 2020 felt very mad compared to previous years, but you can see studios are recovering from their downfall in 2020. All of these shows are great and should be checked out, but I don't have nearly enough time to go into detail about all of them. But I'll quickly give them my ratings so we can move on to the new shows this year. Attack on Titan, a classic anime getting its last season, green light. ReZero, more isekai and psychological horror, green light. The Promised Neverland, thrill about staying alive, green light. Reincarnated as a slime, exactly as the title says, green light. Dr. Stone, science saves the world from caveman communists, green light. Beastars, when furries go too far, green light. The Quintessential Quintuplets, if you don't like harem romance anime, yellow light. If you do, green light. Cells at Work, I can't tell if I want to teach a biology class or make a comedy anime, so better do both, green light. 7 Deadly Sins, some of the animation looked bad last season, so I'm going to have to give it the yellow light. Eurocamp, if you like moe slice of life, green light. If you don't, yellow light. Log Horizon, Sword Art Online but good this time, green light. World Trigger, the first season was subpar compared to the manga, red light. Nyun Byori, same situation as Eurocamp, green light if you like moe, yellow light if you don't. EVA 3.0 plus 1.0, should be called EVA 4.0, but Hideaki Anno didn't want to cause the third impact with the release of this movie, green light. I know I spent very little time on these sequels, but the sheer amount of sequels this season is truly impressive, and it's good to see all these quality shows come back. Now that we've finished the lightning round, let's move on to the new series of winter 2020. Next up on the chopping block is Horimiya. At school, Kyoko Hori is known for being one of the popular girls in her school. On the other hand, her classmate, the boring, gloomy Izumi Miyamura, tends to be viewed as a loner. But when pierced and tattooed Miyamura comes into contact with Hori, these two seemingly different teenagers discover that they have more in common than they think. This show sounds very generic from its description, but the manga readers love it, so perhaps there's more that meets the eye in this situation. I think the idea of two completely different people becoming friends and realizing they have more in common than they think isn't uncommon in story writing, but I've seen people pull off that theme very well, so perhaps it could be very good. The only issue is that shows like this almost always have a gap between the quality of the anime and the manga. Perhaps it could be really good, and I'm completely wrong about my judgment. But I really don't know at the moment, so I'm going to have to give it a yellow light due to the quality of the show being up in the air at this moment. Now, let's check out Mushoku Tensei Isekai Itara Honki Dasu, otherwise known as Jobless Reincarnation. So basically, a NEET gets reincarnated into another world. It sounds very original. The animation in the trailer looks top notch, so it could be better than it sounds. The character designs don't look too interesting to me, but they probably look appealing to someone out there. The animation studio at the helm is Studio Bind. This is their first work, so hopefully they can animate it consistently. The manga has a rating of 7.93 on my anime list, which means that most people like the manga, but manga scores tend to be higher than the anime scores, and the manga's quality is unknown at this current time. If you like isekai stories, you'd probably be at home with this one. But if you don't really like isekai, or are just sick of it like I am, I'd probably stay clear of this one. I'm giving Jobless Reincarnation a yellow light for that reason. Let's move on to Skate Infinity. Skate Infinity is an anime original by Studio Bones. A young boy named Reki really likes to skate, so he gets involved in an underground skating tournament called S. The first one to finish is the winner, no matter the damage done to the other contestants. He takes a kid who just returned back from studying abroad, and the new kid decides to start skating because of Reki's passion, and they decide to enter into the world of S together. Honestly, this is one of the most creative concepts I've heard about in a while. Bones is a very strong studio in terms of animation, so I think they can pull off a show like this. They certainly have a great animation team to pull it off, and the characters in the world seem very interesting to explore, and it looks really good. But Bones has been known to produce subpar anime originals. We're talking about Studio Bones. Even if it's bad, it's still going to be pretty good in the grand scheme of things. This show excites me more than any other show this season for that reason. But I think it's going to be a dark horse this season. Because of the unique concept and the stellar studio behind it, I give Skate Infinity the green light. And of course, we still have a million more isekai shows this season. Isekai that looked the most interesting to me was Kumo desu ka, Nanika, or I am a spider, so what? It's about a girl who's killed in an explosion at her school. Because of her low status in her class, she is reincarnated as a spider in another world. It sounds shockingly similar to I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, but it looks interesting in its own way. The main character seems comedic and the setup would be interesting a few years ago, but I'm a little worried about the animation studio behind it. The studio behind it is primarily known for CG works. While this isn't a bad thing, the show that they're best known for is Berserk 2016. And if you've seen Berserk 2016, you would know it's got some issues, and it's really bad if that's their best work. The way that the dragon moves in this clip is just a little too stiff to me. I'm not saying that the manga is bad, in fact most people actually say it's quite entertaining, but because of the animation studio behind it, I'm gonna have to give Spider the yellow light. You've probably noticed that I've given every anime up to this point either a green or yellow light. This is mostly due to me being indecisive, but I really can't make a solid claim about this next show. Rage of a Healer is another isekai with a twist. Well, I guess because the character isn't transported to another world, it's technically not an isekai, but it's close enough. The main character was exploited for his healing powers, and he decides to heal the world to make everything better, and get revenge on the people who wronged him. This anime will contain extreme levels of violence and sexual assault, so if you don't like that stuff, for the love of God, please don't watch the show. I read the manga for this one a while back, and it turns into a hardcore revenge fantasy in like 2 chapters, and it's just too dark for the average person. I usually like revenge stories actually, they make it easy to sympathize with the protagonist. This one just takes it to the next level, and it's just too much for me. Please, don't watch this show. I know I'm sure as hell not. I'm giving this one a red light. The last show I wanted to discuss is Urasekai Picnic. The show is about a college student who accidentally discovers the underworld, a world with monsters, mystery, and treasure. She meets a girl named Toriko, and together they explore this new world. The concept and the animation from the trailer seem very interesting. Not that much sakuga per se, but there's good interaction between our main heroines. This seems like a combination of mystery, psychological horror, and action. The world and the monsters seem to be very well crafted as well, and I'm really excited to see what type of monsters they show to us. I've heard that there's going to be a little romance between the main girls. This is often sidelined for the action, so don't expect that much in that department. But if you want a thrill ride with cute anime girls, Urasekai Picnic sounds like your type of show. I'm giving this one a green light. The shows that I've listed seem the most promising for the winter 2021 anime season. Some look great, some not so much, but I can appreciate the number of quality anime coming out this season. You know, there's hardly any new anime coming out in 2020, so it's refreshing to see anime come back after all this time. I can't say what show will be the best for you, but don't stop searching for it. Just take some of these great shows that I've recommended and give a few of them a chance, and I'm sure you won't regret it. Hi, and thanks for watching this video. If I need to change any ratings of shows, I'll put them in the comment section, so please check that out if it's been a few months. If you enjoyed my content, please give me a like. And if you want to see future content, click subscribe and hit the bell icon to hear from me when I upload next. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter to see my thoughts and hear news about production early. Thank you. See you guys next time.